Instagram, and hello, Facebook. We're doing a dual show here tonight. I know technology is so amazing. We can do so many things, but if I'm not looking at you the whole time and I'm not looking at you the whole time, do not be offended, okay? God, I haven't been here for a long time. It's because we were doing a Pacific Northwest Backstories show. So we've been in Montana, Idaho, and Oregon, Eastern Oregon. And so we've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then we have, if you guys are in Oregon, you know. If you're not, you may not know. But then we have forest fires. So that's great. Hey, I want to give a call out to one of my sponsors. It's on my Facebook page. It's Chris Dental here in Eugene. Michael's a great guy. He's my dentist. They do great work. And I'd love for you guys to pay them some attention and go visit them and do your thing if you're here in town. Yeah, it has been a long time. We haven't been able to do this. We haven't had our love moments, you know? And so I've got somebody coming at 5 to meet me, somebody texting me at 5:10. And I thought I'm going to take a half hour and just do a quick little show because I'm in the mood and I want to do it. And anyway, that's a good enough reason, don't you think? So this has been crazy, this whole wildfire thing. Kathy and I got evacuated. I'm sure many of you know that. We were gone for a week. And we were in a hotel, and the nicest people, I have a woman who's a friend of mine. She got me a great deal to pay for it, even though our insurance will pay for it. But it was just nice to know we weren't paying an arm and a leg for this thing. And so that was cool. It's great to see. I mean, COVID, I'm going to get in here. I'm just going to do this because, and if you don't like it, then you can do something else. I mean, it's fine. But I think COVID kind of took away something from us, like a kindness, an ability to be kind. That's the thing I've hated the most about the reaction to COVID is that people have been so nasty and rude and nasty. And Corey, thanks. I appreciate you saying my hair looks good. And hi, Dana. Yeah, we're back to somewhat of a routine. But there's kind of a funny story, but I have to be careful because there's some other stuff that goes on with it. But I don't know how many of you pay attention to what I'm doing on here. But we had a small fire in our house when the power surged on, and it blew up our oven. And so our $1,000 oven is now toast and doesn't work. And then my well went dry, and I had the well people come out and look at it, and they said they think somebody took my water. So somebody looted my water. Oh, thank you, Delicate. so I'm alive and I have my house. So I'm grateful for that. That's what should be called the mood, in the mood with Rick. Yeah, we're going to change the show to In the Mood with Rick. No, I am so in the mood. Hi, Hamid. I'm sitting here trying to keep up with you guys. But I tell you, I hope you and Kathy are well. I know it's been stressful, but thanks, you guys are okay. Yeah, we are okay. We're doing well, doing good. Just crazy, crazy stuff. But the good thing is so many people have been so kind and so generous. And I think that's what you're seeing right now in culture. And we have to fight to hang on to this. I think it's a super big fight. It's a fight to remember that we're all part of this community. Your water went dry. Who steals water? I don't know, but it didn't. No, it's a cistern. So I have a cistern that I pour all my water in, and I looked at it before we left, and it had 1,200 gallons. I come home, and the light comes on, and it's gone. It's empty. And I have the weld guy come out. He checks all my lines, everything, nothing's leaking. So there's nowhere for it to go. Where does 1,200 gallons of water go? So my pump house sits up here. My house is here. So you could, according to him, you could hook a hose up and then fill something with it, and it would just drain out by siphoning it out of there. I don't know. And I would gladly, if somebody needed it that bad, I'd give it to them. But leave me a note because I spent more $100 having the well guy come out and look at it. So glad you're back in your house. Something you might find interesting, not up to the quality of Dancer Alley tax the government, but useful information. Alan Alley ran for governor and he should have won. And he ran for treasurer and he should have won. And he's our friend. Alan, the next big debate's going to be climate change and forest management. And it's going to be something we're all going to have to get involved in and have a conversation. Oh no, glad everything's okay. Yeah, we're fine. I mean, Kathy and I are fine. It's just been, it entrapped us, causing us to feel trapped and yeah. But I feel like I'm free, honestly, after all this, because people are, I think we're free to be nice again. And then I still see people bitching and whining and all that on there, but it's like, but I think the bigger picture is, that we're gonna fight to be kind, and to be nice and to listen to people. And I think that's the way this is gonna work. And we have to set the tone of the agenda. Glad you're doing okay, Rick. I'm headed back out of the fire tomorrow with my crew for structure protection. Chris, thank you so much for what you're doing out there. Chris is out there on the lines. Maybe someone used it to help put out a fire. It doesn't even matter what they used it for. I am totally fine with that. If you need water, I'll give it to you. Just leave me a note. I don't want to call the well guy. If you're just suck my water out, I'm fine with that. But leave me a freaking note so I don't spend money doing anything. The deer got thirsty. Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm in Oz and we are trying to ignore climate change. It's ignoring us though. I think it's a combination. We need to look at everything. We need to look at forest management and that. Rick, you need to run for governor. Lori, I just don't think I have. I don't think I have the stamina for it anymore. Hope it was the fire department used it. No, they would have left a note. I mean, I'm sure they would have. I'm glad everything is good, Rick. Yeah, I missed you guys. I love doing this, and I missed you because all my other shows are sponsored, that way. And I am giving some call out to Chris Dental. If you guys are looking for a dentist, Michael's and his crew are the greatest people. And he's a client and he's also my dentist. So if you're looking for somebody, check him out. I've been on fires years ago in the Rogue Valley. Hey, Steve, you got my hat. You're great. Keep doing what you're doing. It's nice to meeting you on Halloween at the beer station. Oh yeah. Rise above, there is nothing. You know what? Are you back in your house? I am, Brooklyn. Thinking of it. You guys, we have, in case you wonder why I'm reading things that you don't see, I'm over here. This is Instagram's over here, and you guys on Facebook are over here. How about the anarchists funded by your own government? How to be love and light at the same time? You know what? I just want to be positive. That doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about negative things, but I think I honestly, the reaction to COVID stole from me personally was just, it's so much. And I think, and I'm not, there's a bunch of devastation. There's horrible things that happen with fire, but all through history, fire is also something that sometimes it burns off some of the shit in our life. And sometimes, there's lines in the Bible where with gold, you heat it up, and then it purifies it because all the shit, the dross is what it's called, comes to the top. And you scrape that off and you keep doing that until you get the gold. And I feel like for me, just me personally, because I know there's people who have died in this and there's lots of people that have lost everything. And I want to help them. But that's in my life, I feel like it's just cleaned something off for me. COVID was a residue that was enforced on me and shoved on, and now I believe in COVID. I'm not saying COVID's not true, but I think the reaction was over the top. And with a fire, when you're faced with losing your house, I don't give a shit about anything. My life is about to, I'm driving away from my house thinking, my wife and I are crying and we're thinking we may never come back to this. So I have a new perspective, and I am, Lindy Paris, you are exactly right. What I learned in this is our community is amazing. We've done an overwhelmingly awesome job of taking care of people, people going out and rescuing animals they don't have to. There's people going out and filming people's property so they can see whether or not their property is still there. And they're risking their own lives to do this. I had a neighbor today at Winco and man, it felt good. We both cried. I am hugging again. And I will ask you first, I will respect your right to hug and not hug, but I'm hugging again. And that's what I think this whole thing has done. It's just thrown everything up in the air and going, you know what? I get to grab again. I'm going to play. I'm going to be Rick Dancer again. I'm not going to be wandering around looking at people and having people look at me. I got my mask on, so when I have to, I put it up. I'm using it more when I go outside just because of the air, and this isn't the right mask, but that's how it is. Governor Dancer, can I choreograph the opening number? Oh God, sure. Oh, I'm not running for office, guys. Great to see you're home. Hi, Deborah. I missed you. Glad you're safe. The smoke is awful down here. Yeah, it's pretty bad up here too. Any chance you'd run for office again? Probably not. And Matt over here brings up a really good point. And I'm just going to say this because, again, I am not trying to be insensitive to people that are losing everything. I want to help. I want to go back after what my wife said the other day and this group is forming now where they're going to go in and we're going to have work parties and we're going to go up the McKinsey and we're going to help people clean up the mess. But for me personally, I feel like I was so scared that I was going to lose everything that I think it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to say, I guess, kind of. But I think the fire, it almost it burned something off that needed to be burned for me personally, for Rick Dancer. And that's, I will be talking more about those work parties. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Allison, I'm going to put yours up here because I see what you're saying. Their volunteers are desperately needed. They're now doing the place where people can go get their stuff for the evacuees at the Masonic building across from the stadium, Austin Stadium, and they need help. Oh, thank you, Matt. The day for the cleanup, put this on your calendar, October 3rd is the day that they're going to have a cleanup. And there'll be more about that. People getting together and we're going to go up to McKinsey and we're going to help these folks. When they moved everything to Roosevelt was so unhandy for people in Springfield. Yeah, I don't, it's kind of these are just people that like you and me that are doing this. So they're just putting it on. Central Oregon has been awesome in coming together and helping those. Melanie, that's awesome. Yeah, I think, what you'll see too, I would tell you this. You're going to see a push as we get closer to the election. And as the smoke settles and the dust settles, there will be a battle over climate change versus forest management. And I think it's both. I think climate change is long-term. What are we going to do to make sure that our forests are protected and that we're protected from wildfires as well? But short-term, what we're doing isn't working, okay? And our forest management plans suck. We're leaving kindling and stuff like that in the middle of the forest. And then we wonder why when lightning hits and then it burns and it's destroying everything. And there's a camp out there that believes, nature should just take its course. Well, we've been managing forests for generations and it's been working, in my opinion. And so I want to have a conversation where, I want to hear climate change aspects of it and work towards that. But I am not going to be excluded from the conversation over forest management. We got to do something with both of them. And there's no reason we can't, except for people who think they have all the answers. And they need to come to the table with everybody else. So two sides of an issue come together and think of what we could come up with. Oh my God. We could actually come up with a plan that not only took care of the present, but took care of the future. And I think that is what we need to do. Who do we connect with for these work parties? If I was smarter, Matt, do you know? At the Facebook page, there's a page, and my wife, she didn't start it. She just had the idea, and I said, honey, you don't have the time. Put out the word, and then someone picked up the ball, and they started these things. So we'll keep you posted. Just put October 3rd on your calendar. Garrett, we're here for you and your family, Rick, and we're here for you guys too. Garrett was so kind the other day. He bought us some of their delicious, Garrett owns, his wife owns, and he works for her, Northwest Burger. And we went in there, and they gave us beer. And I'm sorry, my nose itches from the smoke. And some of their really good deep fried asparagus. So it's a vegetable, so it's not fattening. I mean, you guys don't know that? What would you do without me to help you? If you can find humor and truth, that's something to hold on to, especially nowadays. Oh, gosh, no kidding. Oh, man, you guys are really talking today, aren't you? Melinda Thompson. People in Roseburg have been unbelievably fabulous at donating, helping, and generally loving on their neighbors. And let's not stop. Don't let the naysayers and the whiners get us back into that mode where we're all going, oh, the world's coming to an end. The world is not coming to an end. Maybe some things in the world came to an end and they needed to. So maybe this is the chance to rise like the phoenix out of the fire and stop not living. I am not going to not live. And I'm going, you know what I mean? I told my wife the other day, I feel like if I'm supposed to die at like 86, I think God owes me 1 year. I want my other year. I want to live to 87 because this year, 2020 didn't count. Hello from Alpine, Oregon. So glad you are doing well. The smoke out here is becoming thinner. You have blue sky? Oh, Nikki, you give us hope. Okay, you guys, contact Shauna Anderson on the Facebook cleanup information. Okay, so I'm going to go Shauna Anderson, Facebook cleanup information. Okay, so now that is on this page. On the Facebook page. I would like to know what you think about the city refusing to open up more indoor facilities overnight for ones who lost their homes due to COVID restrictions. I don't know. I don't know much about that world. Great. I just don't know. I don't know. I am so not up on anything right now very much because I've honestly and I'm just being selfish. I've just been trying to survive, and keep my head in place. Right. It makes you reevaluate what's really important. Ryan, how you doing, dude? It was nice to get to meet you the other day. Thanks for keeping it real and for all you do. Glad you are safe and back home. Ryan, thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I'm glad I got to meet you too. I have found that to be very true of you guys. I try to be careful about some things because people take things so weird sometimes, but you guys have helped me a lot. You're noticing, because there's a lot of people talking shit about me. Yeah, when you speak your mind, they do. But I'm also finding thousands of more people are coming on and liking it because we're talking about real stuff. Even if you disagree with me, we're still talking. We have to manage the force. We have to learn from this. Exactly, Kim. And forest management is part of the overall picture. Can I get more information on the work party? I put it in there, just what Matt gave me on there. And you can look up her. It's down there a ways because we have so many people commenting on here. The fire brought out the best of Springfield, which is what Springfield is about. It was good to see us all work together. And I think that's the same story all up and down the state. I think people are seeing that. I agree, it's both. Yeah, why does everything always have to be one thing or the other? And it doesn't. But see, you guys always hear me talk about these messengers. There are people who set the tone of a conversation and they have a motive. And it's not always what's best. They think it is. I really want to believe that. They think it's what's best for Oregon, but it's really their motivation, what they want. And so what we have to do is first identify their messaging, and second, make sure that our wishes and goals are also included in these conversations. And unfortunately, in Oregon right now, there's kind of a one-sided conversation going on. But I really honestly believe that this fire is going to change that. Because how do you stand there and tell me, and the governor gets up and says, blames it on climate change? Well, how come this isn't happening in Canada or Mexico? That doesn't work. I think climate change is part of the problem. I do. But there's also a management issue that you can look at right now if you ever go out in the woods, and it's kindling just waiting to go up. And look how many lives we lost because of poor forest management. And look how many homes are destroyed because of poor forest management. Now, how do you now go and turn around and tell me that that we're not going to even look at that as the future as we move forward with this? I don't think you can get away with that. I think Oregonians are going to come unglued and say no. Lots of people lost their houses and lost their lives and their family pictures and their animals and all kinds of stuff because of poor forest management. So if you're going to then try to blame it only on climate change, you're going to have a big sales job on that one, baby. And I don't think we as Oregonians are going to put up with that, because it has to be a combination. And why can't it be? It has to be, and it can be, and we can make that happen. We just have to be firm, Some people, and it's like anything, when somebody's used to getting their way and owning the conversation, it's really hard to take things back. And we're not going to shut anyone out of the conversation, but we are going to be a part of that conversation. And that's not going to happen easy, because nobody wants to give their toys up out of the toy box. But I think what we've seen is the devastation that the last 10 years of poor forest management, and longer actually, have brought us. And all you need to do is bring a few people from McKinsey Bridge down here and Blue River and let them tell their story. And then what are you going to do? Melody, what does my shirt say? It says, "Where the hell is Imnaha?" Do you know where Imnaha is? I do. I've been there. Rick, the chamber met today to discuss how we can help as individuals and businesses. Here are some links to go to find a way to help. 4 ways to help. McKinsey River. Okay, there you go. So Mike just put that on there. Thank you, Matt. So I hunt a lot and travel a lot in private sales. The amount of fuel in some of these places amazes me. Yeah, if you are anyone who ever goes out into the hinterland, into the woods, you'd have to. I hesitate, but this is called Get Real. You'd have to be stupid not to understand that is just kindling out there. And now that these fires are burned, if we don't go in and salvage and clean up and do salvage logging and thinning, you're just creating more forest fire for the future. The forest should have been managed. Yeah. But we can do that. It's not a criticism. We're just going, okay, we tried something. Your way didn't work. You brought up an idea. We brought up an idea. Let's collaborate and bring those two ideas together and come up with a solution. This one-sided idea it never works, and it hasn't. I mean, look, it's the same thing California's doing. And then somebody says, oh, we should bring in cap and trade. Well, they're doing that in California, and they're still burning up. So this is about climate change, and it's also very much about forest management. And and that's going to be the conversation, because we are the media. We are Oregon. That's us. We are the Oregon. We have to be louder than the specialty lobbyists. I don't think we have to be louder, Sarah. I think we have to be just as effective. And people can't just rest on their laurels. And we have to be willing to compromise. If we're not, then we're just like the people who say, this is what we want, and this is what's going to happen. So we have to practice what we preach. If we're going to be compromising, we have to be compromising. Do you think at all that these fires were started by hate groups? I don't know. I don't want to go there. At this point, I don't know. I think anybody who starts a fire is a hater. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You sound like my mom. Yeah, I don't know. I think, honestly, Plumlee, Amanda, for me personally, and I'm not telling anybody what to do, I'm just giving you my opinions, okay? I think that takes the conversation in the wrong direction. I think right now what we need to do is focus really hard on loving each other and taking care of each other and going up and helping restore things, collecting people's animals, doing what we can. And then bringing that conversation in of saying we want to have climate change and forest management brought into a collaborative plan together. And we just stick to that. Let's let the authorities go in and figure out how some of these fires started, and we'll deal with that. But that's just going to get everybody off track. It's going to just build more walls. And right now we need to the fire tore down walls. It ripped down a COVID wall that had been built by the reaction of our culture of not, of hiding and all this. And now we're out and we're going, okay, here we go. So we need to continue to do that. But if we get wrapped up, and I think sometimes these little things like that are thrown out there just to get us off track. And I think we have to fight that with everything we have, is to stay on track. What are our goals? Our goals are to get better forest management, to include some climate change in there so that we know that this is working, and be very firm, not forceful, but firm. This is what we want to be involved in the process. We are going to be involved in the process. And that's how that's going to work. You're not going to shut us out of the process. And that goes to you, Madam Governor, and the legislature, and anyone else involved. We, the people, are going to be involved in this conversation because we lost our homes and lives and people's livelihood because of the one-sided conversation that's gone on in this state for 10 years. We lost a bunch of shit because of not compromising and working together and coming up with a plan that works. So we're not going to do that again because we don't want that to happen. So that's the one conversation. And then in the middle of it is to keep our focus on, like Jill says, where we want to go. What do we want Oregon to be? Oh my God, I think that's why I'm so excited. I've been really hating Oregon. Just because it just doesn't look like Oregon anymore. And that has nothing to do with white pride or privilege or anything like that. That's just people trying to take the conversation in a different direction. This fire showed me the generous Oregon. Yeah, we're generous people. We help each other. We take care of each other. When a tragedy strikes like this, we go out of our way to do things for people. I mean, that is Oregon. That's the Oregon I'm talking about, not the one that the rioters are talking about, and not the ones that the people with motives to get their way and think that their way is the only way and their way is that absolutely has to be done. Because guess what? It's not like that anymore. You had your time. You've proven that it doesn't work. So now we need to come up with a collaborative effort that includes management with protecting the environment. And that's going to be a battle. But if we go in there with the right attitude and we're willing to be firm but negotiate, we can do something like that. But again, that's what's going to happen. And it's not going to be pretty because people are not going to like that. Because we've let it go too long. And honestly, it's not their fault. It's ours. Our apathy caused this. And, but you know what, Zach? And I understand what you're saying, but I think the other thing is we have, you call it a Boogie Man, and there's a lot of people on here that don't believe it either. And there's a lot of people that are going to believe it. So we have to work together. But what we need is to bring that management word back in here, forest management back into the conversation. And so you can't just say, you guys, this is crap. This is not going to happen. And what we have to do is instead say, let's value your ideas, and we're going to get our ideas valued as well. And I think that's the key. But we're going to keep talking more about this, and I'm not shutting up about it, because I almost lost my home because of piss poor forest management. I almost lost everything I have, and I have friends that did. And I am not going to sit by and watch that kind of bullying from anybody. And I can honor your ideas, and I can bring them into a plan, but you're going to listen to mine because you almost took my house. So I'm done being quiet, like I was ever quiet. All right, I have to talk to my friend Ryan Weir at Pacific Northwest Backstories, because we're starting to have a contest here pretty soon, and I need to do that, and then I have a real quick meeting. So you guys, it is so nice to be back with you. If you know someone that would love this, share it. And if you know someone who would hate this, share it. I don't care. Or just go have a nice evening. But thanks for being here, and we'll be back doing these more regularly now that we're back in the saddle again. All right. Have a great, great night.